you anymore? Who are you anymore?
Hello everybody, what's going on? JD here. Today's a return to form for anybody that's been watching the channel for a while. The original series of History in the Mix was based off of this type of video, and I finally have a reason to do it again. I am not a supporter of the Michael Jackson estate, and I never really have been. But you know, we haven't heard anything from him for a while. Ever since Leaving Neverland, ever since COVID, they've kind of been quiet. But today they came back and they updated the Michael Jackson FAQ part of his official website, which FAQ stands for Frequently Asked Questions. And they said a few things that we've been wondering, and they gave the most John Branca answer that they could possibly give. And a lot of them are very hypocritical. A lot of them rub me the wrong way. And so I want to talk about them and why this is so egotistical, hypocritical, and just plain out stupid. So you're greeted with the opening of the website. You click on FAQ. They say submit a question. I wouldn't waste your time because they won't read them. But the first one that they updated with today, now there are a few from earlier on because they introduced this feature in like 2017. I remember when they did it, a lot of people were like, okay, sweet, we can finally ask questions. But no, they already know what questions they're going to answer. But the first one you see, why doesn't the estate release more projects? Which is a question that I've been asking since the beginning of time. Given how much has been done in the first decade following Michael's tragic passing, it should not be a surprise that there is a natural slowing and spreading out of major estate releases. Yada yada yada. While we appreciate the fans want more releases, it is more important to keep in mind all that has been created and released in this relatively short time. This includes a number of licensing deals, such as limited edition collaborations with clothing companies, such as Supreme and Off-White, the launch of the Michael Jackson slot machines, as well as large releases including 2009, This Is It, 2010, Michael Jackson, The Experience Game. There were Sony Music, so that's Michael and Escape. I guess what they're trying to say here is that they've done like a big project or product every year, and I don't agree at all. I mean, they're trying to use stuff like One, which if you're not in Las Vegas, you'll never see, and they didn't put a soundtrack album out for it, so you don't even get to hear the music. Bad 25 was cool. Immortal, there was a tour, but not everybody got to see it. And there's an album, so you can't really fault them for that. And I mean, they're just trying to like say that they've done stuff, and that's like me bringing a paper to my English teacher and saying, hey, I know I didn't do the homework today, but I did do it for the earlier on in the semester, so shouldn't I still get an A? Obviously I wouldn't, and that's not how an estate should function. They shouldn't say, look at what we've done, okay? It should be, look at what we can do. So, you know, all of that happened, and I was reading it, and it rubbed me the wrong way. And then you go down to 2019/2020, and there are more excuses. It says the estate had a number of plans, including the release of This Is It 10, but they were impacted by the release of Leaving Neverland, which is the one thing in this big explanation that I would actually say makes sense, and I know a lot of fans won't understand that. Anything that they would want to put out in 2019 commercially would be panned or made fun of or make big headlines for being negative. It just wasn't the time. It wasn't appropriate, and I applaud them for that. But then when they talk about 2020, and of course in 2020 we are dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic that has resulted in a delay of the opening of the MJ musical, as well as other plans we had for this year. As much as I want to say that this is a good rebuttal on why nothing's came out in 2020, I don't think any estate would make 2020 plans in 2020. Now, the musical being delayed, that is a valid point. But when they talk about History 25 not coming out, you should have already had that done at the beginning of the year. And COVID, Weekends After Hours came out. Selena Gomez Rare. Like all these albums, Chromatica, all these albums are still coming out. There's no reason you couldn't have done that. Except that you guys waited until the last minute. What, like, are you trying to, like, do you want us to applaud you for giving us absolutely nothing? I don't understand. But the releases aren't the only thing they talk about in this release. Another question is, why doesn't the estate release all the songs that fans have leaked? First off, It's kind of a slimy way to put this question, and no fan would phrase it like that. All the songs the fans have leaked, all the songs that the fans have stolen. Dude, I mean, there definitely are, like, some actual criminals that leak songs that in the studio with MJ, but I feel like this is very, very harsh. This is a very harsh way to say this question. But whatever. As been stated previously, the estate won't release everything in the vault because Michael didn't release it during his life. Michael had several philosophies that we use as guides. One of those is, quote, the quality goes in before the name goes on. This is a very, very bad outlook on demos. I'm a very big Beatles fan, as you guys can tell. Elvis, too. The Elvis estate put out entire albums of demos, and they're putting out a new one, just like Take One and Take Two. The Beatles every year put out a remastered album with remastered demos. Demos are profitable. They're cool for somebody like me who makes music himself, and I want to hear what the creator went through making this song. And they're using this when they put, the Billie Jean demo on Thriller 25, which Michael was still alive for that, but then in Bad 25 they put on demos of Streetwalker and stuff like that. So, I mean, I get what they're saying, but I think they're taking it way too seriously. If they put out a remastered version of an album, you almost have to put demos with it, or it's nothing new. And then they go on to say the quality goes in before the name goes on, and just because it's public doesn't mean it should be released. What they don't understand is we're not asking for everything in the vaults. We're just asking for something every once in a while, and there is stuff there. Demos are not a bad thing. If I died, I would want my demos out there, just because it extends the excitement. It shows how I wrote a song or how somebody wrote a song. You're acting like he's like he's breaking the law on these, or like he's not caring, but we know Michael cared, and so demos are okay to release, I think. The most recent estate project that's came out that everybody seems to be on board with is the SiriusXM channel, which personally I hated. I never even downloaded. It was free and I never even downloaded it. I feel like it was just a playlist, basically. I mean, they had some new interviews with the guy that plays Michael in the MJ musical, and I mean, I guess that's all fine and dandy, but it really didn't interest me, so I didn't bother with it. And a lot of people were freaking out because it wasn't a permanent channel, and I don't think anybody that says that knows what SiriusXM is, because very few of the channels stick around forever. They do have a Beatles channel, and I've listened to that once, and I didn't even like it because it's just the same songs over and over again. Many of the estate's decisions are made by being rooted in Michael's philosophies. He said that if Halley's Comet passed over once a month, no one would be able to look at it. What? The estate doesn't want Michael to be permanently on a car radio or on an app where people are jumping from Elvis to Bruce Springsteen. Michael is special. This is so, egotistical, dude. Seriously, is that putting down Elvis and Bruce Springsteen? I don't get what they were trying to say here. Michael is special. The estate has licensed to SiriusXM 3 times in 11 years, and when appropriate would consider doing it again. This is just... They're acting like, they're the big high and mighty partnering with SiriusXM, when that's one of the most profitable things in the world, is just to have his music on radio stations. It's just music that's available on streaming. And to say that you don't want your audio files that are monetized listened to, it's almost saying like you don't want to make money. So if you don't want Michael to be played in a car radio or on an app, why are you putting out the Thriller CD? Why can't I go to Walmart and buy Thriller? Why can't I go buy the Thriller at vinyl at Barnes & Noble if you don't want Michael to be played in a car? Because car's not good enough for the Michael Jackson estate. It makes no sense. This is easily stupid. Working with SiriusXM, special playlists were created for the channel by people who knew Michael, as well as artists who were influenced by him. Who? People that are on the estate's payroll, like the guy from Broadway. I mean, I don't think that this is very smart, business-wise. I mean, they're trying to act like Michael shouldn't be played. And, I mean, isn't that how these people make money to make products? Why isn't there a History 25 release? I already touched on that a little bit. They said it was due to COVID. But they also said, while we still have plans to celebrate history with appropriate audio and audio-visual elements, we don't plan on making announcements until we are in a position to share all of the relevant details. I would not get my hopes up on this because I don't see anything coming of it. You could call me negative, and I'm sure everybody will, but they've done this in the past where they say, like, just wait. Once we have time, we will release it. Just give us a second, and then it fades into the abyss, and we never hear about it again. And especially because I think we'll be dealing with COVID for years. I just don't see anything happening. When they say audio and audio-visual elements, that's kind of weird to me, and I'm trying to think of the littlest effort they could put into re-releasing something. I could see maybe a mega mix coming out officially, or audio visual. So like videos, I don't know what they're thinking about that. But I don't see it coming out. I feel like this is almost opening the estate up for an excuse. So if COVID goes on for 2 more years, they can be like, well, it's still not safe. So History 25's already passed. Guess we gotta wait another 10 years. This one is a very, very good question that if they would have actually answered, may have given me a lot more respect for them. Why doesn't the Michael Jackson estate do all of the things the other estates do? And look at how they responded, again, being the most egotistical people they could possibly be. Simply put, it is the other estates that are trying to compete with the Michael Jackson estate, not the reverse. Will you guys shut up? Like, actually, the Beatles estate are not trying to be the Michael Jackson estate. The Elvis estate with Graceland, they don't give a rat's, can't swear on here, they don't care what the Michael Jackson estate's trying to do, dude. Get off of this high horse that you think you're on. You guys aren't special in any form of the word. And to not only take down Elvis, but Bruce Springsteen and apparently every other estate. So even Smash Mouth has HD videos. That's not really an estate, but you know what I mean. Like, George Michael has a few HD videos, and that's more than you guys have done. So I don't know what you guys are trying to say with this. It's very egotistical, very stupid. Nobody can compare the Prince estate with the Michael Jackson estate. Yes, you can, because they're two individual artists from the same time. Where'd John Branca go? Behold. No, that kind of ruined my rant, but, no. I mean, they're kind of bragging about numbers later on. The Michael Jackson estate is the envy of all other estates, is an official quote that they use. Shut up, dude. Seriously. I think that you guys are egotistical as all get out. And the fact that if you actually think this, you're such a terrible business. I just can't put into words without swearing. This is stupid, man. And then the last new thing that they put on the website, just wait until you get a load of this. Why hasn't the estate made a documentary proclaiming Michael Jackson's innocence? The estate is taking legal action for which it has legal basis with HBO. The purpose of this is to expose those who involved under whatever. The estate does not want to publicly acknowledge or be credited for what it does. You just said! What are you talking about? That the estate doesn't want to say everything they do? You just gave a whole bullet point list from the past 10 years of everything you've done. You pieces of slimy garbage. What? Like, this is old history in the mix here. I just cannot believe that. Oh my god. The estate does not want to be publicly acknowledged or credited for what it does, even though there's an entire big bullet-pointed list of everything that we've done. I'm gonna go ahead and assume they mean legally, which they already said what they're doing. So what are they trying to get at? I shouldn't be laughing, because this isn't funny. This is despicable. But whatever. Why are we stuck with these bozos? John Branca, what? So, yeah. This is the estate's frequently asked questions. This is what we're dealing with. These are the people that are holding Michael Jackson's legacy in their hands, and they're not doing anything about it. I think that these people are the worst of the worst. I think that they are some of the worst businessmen on the planet. I think, especially after this, they're some of the most egotistical people on the planet, and they're trying to be something they're not, which is the Prince estate, which is the Elvis estate, which is the Beatles estate. Get out of here. Maybe do something worth all this praise you're trying to give yourself, because nobody else agrees with this besides you. Nobody else thinks the estate is trying, or other estates are envying you. If Walmart was like, oh, Target envies us, that would be a meme, because it's such a stupid thing to say. But whatever. What do you know? The Michael Jackson estate are a bunch of scumbags. What do you know? I made that joke a few years ago, and it still reigns true. So thank you guys for watching. Maybe you guys are watching the audio-only version on iTunes and Spotify. I appreciate that. Maybe go listen again if you want to hear me react to this again. It's so stupid. Thank you guys for watching. My merch is available on teespring.com. The links are up there and down below. Obviously, they have nothing to do with the Michael Jackson estate. Darn, I wish I was the Michael Jackson estate. I envy them. But if you use code DANGEROUS from the last video, it's 30% off, and it's cool, and I promise I won't brag about everything I've done for History in the Mix in the past year, and then say that we don't want any recognition. So the meme in the background is very, very, that's funny, is very, very justified. Make that change. I'm not even going to say anything else. You guys know how stupid this is, how stupid they are, and if you support them, you're just as bad.